This is part 2, episode 68. Wang Lin secretly thought, when I was comprehending the heavens to reach the soul formation stage, I met a senior named Qian Yunzi. That person said that if I could leave Suzaku, I can go find him at planet Qianyun, and he would take me as his honorary disciple for 100 years. His cultivation is godlike, so I must take this opportunity. I must get my hands on a star compass. His speed was very quick, so he arrived before the golden purple stone after a while. He looked at the large stone, took a deep breath, and put it inside his bag of holding before returning. After returning to the compass, Kai Hu asked what kind of material it was, but Wang Lin dodged the question with a smile. 1 more month passed. Wang Lin kept searching the surroundings, but was unable to find more materials. On this day, the compass suddenly began to shake violently as cracks spread throughout its surface. At the same time, a powerful force appeared and threw the 3 of them off the compass. The damage to the compass is too much. It can no longer continue to fly. The 3 of us will have to rely on our own flying abilities. Luckily, we aren't far from our destination. At full speed, we should arrive in 3 days. Kai Hu let out a bitter smile as he waved his hand and the compass was put away. 3 days passed by quickly. Wang Lin saw land in the distance. This land was the first layer of the celestial realm fragment. There was nothing growing on the ground and there were countless bottomless holes. Spatial rifts, which would sometimes fuse and disappear without a trace, filled the sky. One could occasionally see collapsed buildings on the ground. After Kai Hu arrived, his eyes lit up and he said, "This is the place. Shizu once described the first layer to me." Then he lowered his head and silently calculated. His divine sense spread out, as if he was searching for something. Wang Lin frowned as he looked around and suddenly said, "Since that location is at another layer, which layer is it, Brother Kai Hu?" Red Butterfly hadn't talked in many days. She let out a snort and said, "Useless question. Of course it's the second layer. It is already very unlikely for fragments to overlap once in the celestial realm." Wang Lin's eyes became focused as he coldly said, "Ignorant." Being called ignorant again caused Red Butterfly's eyes to fill with killing intent as she stared at Wang Lin. Kai Hu bitterly smiled as he quickly raised his head and said, "Brother Seng, it is indeed the second layer, but my ancestor, Shizu, once speculated that there might be a third layer below." Red Butterfly was startled. Her eyes wavered and she remained silent. Wang Lin's expression didn't change. He still felt like something was wrong. Since a while ago, he felt like someone was following them. This had nothing to do with his cultivation, but a sense for danger he had developed from his years of killing. "I found it. Follow me." After a long time, Kai Hu moved and flew forward. Soon, the 3 of them stopped somewhere in the northeast. "This is the place. Shizu once left a plum flower mark here, and the method to find the mark." Kai Hu's face was filled with joy as he landed near a pit. Wang Lin lowered his head. The surrounding pits did indeed form the shape of a plum flower. Kai Hu jumped into the pit. Red Butterfly looked at Wang Lin before following in. Wang Lin spread out his divine sense and couldn't detect the bottom of this pit. After pondering for a bit, he jumped in. Shortly after the 3 of them entered the pit, the middle-aged man with the gourd appeared near the pit. He took a drink, flipped his hand, and the pagoda appeared again. The woman in white's body flew out and was held by him. He looked at corpse, shook his head, and muttered to himself, "Those juniors seem to have come for nothing. That jade coffin has already been used by me to make the pagoda. Unfortunately, that jade coffin was almost sucked dry by you in only a few thousand years. Rest assured, I'll go find more celestial jade for you. The third layer should have more celestial jade." With that, he kicked the woman's forehead and then suddenly frowned. He waved his hand and the woman's corpse and the pagoda disappeared as he looked at the sky. He saw the cracks in the sky connect together and a person walk out. This person had a head full of white hair and his face was filled with wrinkles. He charged out of the cracks with incredible speed. "Why did I even come to this damned place? I have checked almost every single fragment, and still haven't found the body of a celestial. He sighed as he descended to the ground and saw the middle-aged man. Hello, hello. The middle-aged man frowned. Out of all the people that came from Suzaku, this old man was the only one he dreaded. This old man had the same cultivation level as him, both were at the mid-stage of soul transformation. But even with how long he had lived, he didn't know this person. There weren't many soul transformation cultivators on Suzuka, so he felt like he should have known every single soul transformation cultivator on Suzuka. He looked at the old man and without a word jumped into the pit. Well, ignoring me. How rude. The old man rubbed his nose. He looked at the pit the middle-aged man had jumped into and was about to leave when his nose suddenly moved because he smelled something. The scent of death. Yes, this is the scent of death. I would never mistaken the scent of a celestial. It should be a female corpse, ha ha, a female corpse is even better. The old man's eyes lit up. He looked around and suddenly locked his eyes onto the pit the middle-aged man had gone into before charging in. The old man wore a happy expression and thought, now I can complete the sect master's task and leave this dog shit Suzaku. Sect head is also strange. Our corpse sect has all kind of bodies. So why does he want the body of a celestial? I wonder what customer from what planet has such a unique taste. Wang Lin's group of 3 made their way down the pit at a very fast pace. They had been descending for an unknown amount of time with no end in sight, but a resisting force that was pushing up became stronger and stronger. This is the place. Once we descend, we will arrive at the location recorded on the jade, but it is sealed by restrictions. However, with the 3 of us, we should be able to open it within 10 days. Kai-Hu's voice was filled with joy. The more the 3 descended, the stronger the resisting force became. After the force reached a certain point, their speed began to slow down. After a long time, the resistance became even stronger. Wang Lin took a deep breath, as covered his body with spiritual energy to act against it. He secretly calculated that they had already descended tens of thousands of meters with no end in sight. When he spread out his divine sense downwards, there was a mysterious force that prevented him from seeing more than 1,000 meters down. Wang Lin took a glance at Red Butterfly. The woman's body was releasing a blue light, and there was no emotion on her face. As for Kai-Hu, the axe mark on his forehead was rapidly flashing. Every time it flashed, the force around him decreased by a bit. It was very mysterious. Time slowly passed. After an unknown of time, Kai-Hu, who was in front, shouted in joy, "We are here." Wang Lin slapped his of holding and the restriction flag came out. Resisting the force with the flag, he charged forward and the 3 of them exited the cave at the same time. The moment they charged out, a burst of bright light blighted Wang Lin. He quickly surrounded himself with the restriction flag, blocking out the light, and observed the surroundings with his divine sense. His expression suddenly became very strange. This place was not very large, only about 1,000 feet wide. At the center of this place there was indeed a pool of water. However, there was no jade coffin on top of the pool of water, so there was no need to talk about the 3 celestial swords on top of the jade coffin. As for the spirit herbs, there wasn't even a trace of them. Aside from having no treasures, it was exactly the same as the location shown in the jade. Kai-Hu stared dumbfoundedly at the scene before him, his mind completely blank. He had spent all this effort. Even the compass had been trashed to arrive here, but he never would have thought. Red Butterfly sneered. She said, with a trace of anger, "Kai-Hu, this is the place you were talking about. This is the place I wasted a flower stamen to enter. If you don't give me a proper explanation today, I will not let this go." Wang Lin looked around with a strange expression, and couldn't help but bitterly smile. He was not as angry as Red Butterfly. After all, he lost nothing on this trip, and had even found the purple golden stone. Considering this, he profited. Thinking about this, he moved forward and began to carefully search the area. Red Butterfly's eyes were filled with anger. She also began to search, hoping to find some treasure. Kai-Hu stared dumbfoundedly at the scene before him and muttered to himself, "How could this be? Impossible. Could it be that someone else found this place after Shizu arrived and took all the treasure? Yes, it has to be. He bitterly shook his head. He turned to Wang Lin and Red Butterfly, clasped his hands and said, "The two of you, this time it was me being reckless. I didn't expect it to turn out this way." Red Butterfly was about to lose control as she stared at Kai-Hu and said, "Word for word, just saying you were reckless could recover my wasted flower stamen. Kai-Hu, I think you already knew that this place was like this and on the way purposely borrowed my power. You must have another objective. If you don't clearly explain it, then don't blame me for not caring about our clan's relationship." Wang Lin calmly searched everywhere, but found nothing. In the end, his eyes landed on the pool of water. Upon closer inspection, the pool was very deep, and he wasn't able to see the bottom. After Kai-Hu heard Red Butterfly's words, his expression immediately became ugly, but he held his temper and said, with a heavy tone, "Red Butterfly, once we return to Suzaku, I'll give you a proper explanation. However, you saying that I have another objective is completely false. I am the young master of the giant demon clan. Although I can't match you, I'm a man of my word." Red Butterfly sneered and was about to speak, but Wang Lin suddenly said, "Kai-Hu, you said before that this place had a third layer." Kai-Hu was startled. His eyes lit up and he said, "Brother Seng Nyo is correct. My ancestor, Shizu, once said that there might be a third layer." Red Butterfly coldly mocked him. "Shizu? Your Shizu also said that there were treasures on this layer." Kai-Hu sullenly looked at Red Butterfly. After a long time, he took a deep breath, walked toward Wang Lin, and looked at the pool of water. Wang Lin slowly said, "If there is a third layer, this should be the entrance to it." Red Butterfly slightly snorted. She gently moved herself next to the pool of water and looked into it. Just at this moment, someone floated down from the tunnel above. He took one step and in a blur arrived in the air on top of the pool of water before them. A powerful force surrounded them. Kai-Hu's face immediately turned white and he coughed out a mouthful of blood, then his body was thrown backwards. As for Red Butterfly, she let out charming groan as she quickly backed up with shock in her eyes. Wang Lin had already been on guard, as he had always felt like someone was following them. The moment the other person appeared, he quickly backed up. Although he was still affected by the pressure, he wasn't injured, only his face became red and he was pushed back several meters. The person looked at Wang Lin and took a large gulp from his gourd. Kai-Hu shouted, "Five Elements Sect, Ju Yi." The middle-aged man let out a smile and asked, "Little guy from the giant demon clan, you know me?" After Red Butterfly heard the name, Ju Yi, her expression suddenly changed as she hid her look of disgust. Kai-Hu quickly and respectfully said, "Junior Giant Demon Clan's Kai-Hu greets Senior." Junior knows Senior's name since youth. He was born as the young master of the giant demon clan, so he had been focused on by the family since early childhood. He had seen portraits of all soul transformation cultivators and above. The moment he saw the red gourd, he was able to recognize who it was. This Ju Yi had a very weird hobby. After this hobby had been confirmed, Kai-Hu remembered him very well. The middle-aged man let out a faint smile. His gaze swept past Red Butterfly and landed on Wang Lin. This little guy was very quick to react. "It seems you had already noticed me on the way here." Wang Lin's expression remained calm as he respectfully said, "Junior only had a feeling but wasn't sure." The moment Kai-Hu and Red Butterfly heard those words, their expressions became weird. The middle-aged man said, "The jade coffin here was already taken by me. The three of you should leave." Kai-Hu bitterly smiled and quickly nodded. Red Butterfly's eyes lit up as she looked at the pool of water but remained silent. The middle-aged man revealed a faint smile and said, "There is a third layer. If you guys aren't afraid of death, you can try it. The entrance is this pool of water." Just at this moment, sonic booms could be heard from the tunnel leading to the surface as a figure came down. "Ha ha, so crowded." The figure stopped in the air. It was the white-haired old man. The middle-aged man's expression became gloomy as he stared at the old man and asked, "Sir, what is your intention in following me?" The old man laughed. "I don't have any intentions. I'm just a bit interested in the third layer. What, are you not going to let me in? The middle-aged man let out a cold snort. He pondered a bit before taking a step down. Bang! The pool of water exploded as the water moved aside, revealing the tunnel below. The middle-aged man quickly entered the tunnel. The old man's eyes lit up and he quickly followed. Red Butterfly clenched her teeth. Her losses were great this time, and she was very unwilling to leave without gaining something. Even if it was a forbidden place, she must at least try. With that in mind, she rushed into the tunnel. Kai Hu looked toward Wang Lin and bitterly smiled. Brother Seng, do you intend to go in, or will you leave? Wang Lin remained calm. He didn't respond but asked, Brother Kai Hu, who is Ju Yi? Kai Hu's expression became weird. He hesitated for a bit but didn't speak. Instead, he sent a voice transmission saying, Brother Seng, that person is one of the few soul transformation old monsters in Suzaku. His cultivation level is very high. However, he has a nickname, Corpse Lover. Wang Lin was startled. Corpse Lover. Kai Hu quickly said, don't say it out loud. If he hears you, you will die for sure. He clasped his hands and said, Brother Seng, I'm going down to see. How about we go together? Wang Lin pondered a bit and nodded. The two of them quickly flew toward the tunnel under the pool of water one after the other. The tunnel under the pool wasn't very deep, and because of the two of them were moving fast, they quickly passed through it. When they exited the tunnel, they entered a world of crystals. This place was covered in white crystals. These crystals released powerful celestial spiritual energy, which was floating everywhere. In the distance, Red Butterfly was collecting celestial spiritual energy with a gourd. Kai Hu also revealed look of joy as he quickly took out a green cloth bag. He shook the bag and large amounts of celestial spiritual energy entered it. At the same time, he landed near a chunk of crystal and hit it. Sounds of metal colliding could be heard, but the crystal didn't move at all. Wang Lin's eyes lit up. He took out the cleansing wood to absorb the surrounding celestial spiritual energy. The three of them didn't say a word as they focused all their attention on absorbing celestial spiritual energy. Wang Lin's cleansing wood wasn't as good as the other two's treasures, so his speed was a lot slower. But before long, a loud boom echoed in the distance and Ju Yi's voice reached them. Old guy, don't push me too far. There is a lot of celestial spiritual energy around here, yet instead of collecting it, you are following me. You have the scent of death on you, so of course I need to follow you. As the two spoke, two rays of light quickly flew toward the three of them, and in the blink of an eye arrived before them. The middle-aged man's eyes lit up as he raised his right hand and grabbed behind him. A giant swirl suddenly appeared behind him, followed by a powerful suctioning force. The surrounding crystals began to crackle as countless cracks appeared on them. A large amount of crystals broke off and flew into the swirl. The old man's expression suddenly changed as he quickly moved his hands. A giant coffin suddenly appeared behind him. The coffin was reddish-purple, and only by standing on the coffin was the old man able to resist the suctioning force. The moment the two of them began to use their techniques, the surrounding celestial spiritual energy became chaotic. The old man stared at the swirl and laughed loudly. Imperial Spirit Law, ha ha, so you are Ju Yi. That corpse lover Ju Yi. I was wondering why you had such a powerful scent of death on you. Then he slapped the coffin, and the coffin released a sound like nails scratching the coffin's lid. This sound was very ear-piercing. It was as if it contained infinite power. At the same time, black smoke came out of the coffin, forming a large hand. The hand was completely dark as he reached toward the swirl. Bang! With a loud bang, the third layer began to shake violently. The ground began to shatter and countless crystals turned to dust. Spatial rifts opened up in the air like big mouths. Large amounts of celestial spiritual energy disappeared into the spatial rifts. In the blink of an eye, there was no more celestial spiritual energy left. Ju Yi said, with a gloomy expression, Corpse Sect. You must be the Corpse Sect's head elder. If the two of us were to fight, this fragment would collapse. If it was just a single fragment collapsing, then the two of us could escape thanks to our cultivation. However, I'll tell you this, there are a total of 6 fragments overlapping each other here. If one of them collapses, then all of them will collapse. At that point, even someone who has reached the ascendant stage wouldn't be able to escape. The old man's expression changed. His eyes lit up as he disappeared from the coffin. When he reappeared, he was behind Red Butterfly. Red Butterfly suddenly turned her head. The old man smiled at her. His smile was filled with darkness. "Little girl, I'm going to borrow your body for a bit." Suddenly, several lines of black smoke came out of his body and drilled into her body like little snakes. For the first time, Red Butterfly began to panic. She knew that struggling was useless, so she quickly raised her right hand, revealing a jade bracelet. Her voice was sharp as she shouted, "Senior, do you know this object?" The old man's eyes became serious. The symbol of the core disciples of Suzaku, the open peace bracelet. The small snakes had already drilled into her orifices, and her face had turned slightly greenish-black, as she struggled to say, "This bracelet is linked to my soul. If I were to die, it would explode. The celestial fragment would collapse as well, so you wouldn't be able to escape either. Even if you were able to escape, you would have no place left to live on Suzaku. This bracelet represents the status of a Suzaku core disciple. They will be able to find you through special means. At that point, you will be hunted by Suzaku." The old man frowned. He snorted and said, "Little girl, relax. I won't kill you." With that, he raised his head toward Juyi and said, "Juyi, I'm going to borrow this girl's body to fight you. That way, we won't have any attacks that will surpass what this fragment can withstand. You should go choose someone as well." Juyi's expression was gloomy as he asked, "What exactly do you want?" The old man sneered, "You have the corpse of a celestial on you. My nose can't be wrong. I want that corpse. Even dragons can have sensitive scales. If someone touches it, it will anger the dragon." For Juyi, his sensitive scale was that female corpse. "Tinger, someone else is here to steal you. Everyone that wants to steal you must die. Die. Die." Juyi's eyes revealed a mysterious light, as he stared at the old man. Then he pointed at Kaihu and said, "You. Come here." Kaihu's expression immediately became ugly. He hesitated for a bit, but didn't dare to resist, so he let out a sigh and flew toward Juyi. A rainbow appeared due to an unknown technique from Juyi that landed on Kaihu's forehead, causing him to begin to resist. Juyi calmly said, "Become my avatar once. Not only will you not die, but you will be able to experience my domain." Kaihu hesitated for a bit before he gave up on resisting. His eyes glowed brighter and brighter as his cultivation level suddenly skyrocketed. "Ha ha, among these 3 little fellows, I chose the one with a natural, 5-element body. You chose the ancient giant demon clan. The only one left is a useless normal person. Scram." The old man laughed as he stared at Wang Lin. Wang Lin's expression remained calm. He shot the old man a cold look before turning around to leave. He didn't want to get involved with this mess. Since he was told to leave, he would just leave. Red Butterfly revealed a poisonous look as she suddenly said, Senior, kill him. If you kill him, I'll give up on resisting and fully support you. But you must promise my safety." The old man was surprised. He raised his head as his eyes lit up and looked like he was about to reach out toward Wang Lin. Wang Lin's eyes remained calm, as he took out the broken restriction flag and sneered. "Red Butterfly, if you wish for this place to collapse, you can try." Restriction flag. The old man's eyes lit up as he stared at the small flag in Wang Lin's hand and took a deep breath. It is only short 1 restriction from reaching a full 99 set. This person is not lying. Once it reaches a full 99 set, it will attract divine retribution lightning, but it will attract celestial retribution lighting here, which is even more powerful. Once that appears, no one here will survive, including him. The old man revealed a trace of dread in his face as he quickly withdrew his hand. Wang Lin's expression remained calm as he stopped by the entrance to the tunnel, looking at the four of them from a distance. Since I'm already here, then I'm in no rush to leave. Why not see how soul transformation cultivators fight? This video will end here.